this is actually my dance room, and I have converted it in this corner into my booth. So,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I'm doing a lot of live stuff on Facebook too. So
good job.
And thank you again. I know the last vendor said, you know, thank you for all the work. You guys have just gone over and above on making this happen. And I know all the vendors really appreciate it. I know I do.
Well, you know what, it's our pleasure. And, you know, it's super important for us as the board to support our vendors and make sure that they are being supported by this event and that they have access to their customers, because it's a tough year and we all need all the help we can get. So, yeah. Lizette, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and what you're up to?
Well, I got into this. I got into spinning in 2004 when I went to Stitches West and bought my first wheel from Morgaine from Carolina Homespun. And I was hooked immediately. I was a knitter up to that point. And I said to my husband, you know, if I had a spinning wheel, I could make my own yarn. Somehow he heard I would never buy yarn again. And I laugh at that because I can't be responsible for the collapse of the world economy if I stop buying yarn. And just, you know, this is not going to happen. I won't even rotate this iPad so you can see the stash pile that is to the side here.
You do not have to admit it to any of us. I'm sure that we all.
It's a little embarrassing.
No, don't worry. This is not your confessional. Don't worry. No judgment here.
I'm going to genuflect in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, blessings on everybody who has a stash and it's out of control, especially with the pandemic. It's just a great opportunity to be able to, you know, move some of this into someone else's stash. So once I got into spinning, I fell in love with this festival and attended it regularly with my guild and participated in the Sheep to Shawl. That was the Hangtown Fiber Guild, which I'm still a member of. I think I belong to 6 guilds. It's a wonder I have time to organize all of this that's over here. But from that, I got into actually dyeing the fiber, taking classes. I've taken classes from Maggie, Judith, Stephanie Gaustad, who's not here with us this year. Just, you know, all the best teachers, and attended Spin-Off Autumn Retreat, which was so much fun. And that's when I had the SpinOlution line and took it up there and was introducing it. And I love these wheels, these big bobbins, because I got into spinning art yarn when I took Lexi Boger's Camp Plucky Fluff. And I've taken it several times. She's a dear friend, lives up the hill a little bit in Placerville at her folks' winery. And I just love the art yarn. So to feed my obsession with all of this stuff, I decided I could sell the wheels, I could sell the fiber. I love the dyeing process. This is all locally sourced wool and alpaca. I'm trying to support my friends who are raising the animals, and I'm very picky about who I buy from. They have to take really good care of their animals. And I watch them like a hawk, so they all do. Blue Barn Farm for my merino, various farms around the area in Placerville for the alpaca, and then Barbara Fiorica's place for the Angora locks. I support her little 4-H'ers, so I buy a lot of Angora locks, and those are loads of fun to dye. So usually my back patio has the grill going, a camp stove. I have 6 or 7 dye pots going at once. It's organized chaos, and I love that process. I love working with color, as you can tell. It's not subdued. I'm not a beige person at all. I have friends who kind of look at this and go, we like the natural colors. And I'm like, yeah, good for you. I like all the bright stuff. And then I tone it down with black and gray and taupe. You know, but I really like the bright colors. And I was one of the people that got to weave that 4th place shawl today. I got to dye the warp for that in the really bright colors, because we were using a weft that was kind of an espresso color weft. So I knew it would tone down the chartreuse, the red, and the purple. that I was dyeing that warp. And that warp was donated to us by Joni Soth, a dear friend. And it was it was a lovely mauve, but not a color I like. So into the dye pot it went for an over dye. But you're a dyer. You know how much fun it is to dye. It takes me back to kindergarten with the finger painting. You know, your hands are in all this color and you're mixing it up. And that's what I love about it. From there, I decided I really wanted to have a little fiber animal. And in my gated golf course community, I could only have a bunny. So I have a French Angora bunny, Honey Bun, and I have his fluff up here. These cute little packets. I try to avoid using plastic at all costs whenever possible. So his Angora fiber is just luscious. Oh, it's so soft. And he's a sweetheart. And it's so much easier to just maintain one. I had a pair and they were a lot of work. It was just, it's constant maintenance of that fluff. It really is. Lots of combing. One of the things I decided to do on kind of a whim, because I belong to so many guilds and we always have that holiday party where we need to have a gift that's, you know, under $20 or under $15, I put together the spinner salad, which is lots of fiber. And it looks like a salad, doesn't it?
It does.
Ah, very healthy. Yes,
right?
This is, and the label is the hoot on this one. Being a former news person, I'm all about writing in the written word. And so the spinner salad is high fiber, it's organic, gluten-free, dairy-free, cage-free, no trans fats. That's so important. Free range, pasture raised. And the calories per serving is 0. Farm to wheel products, locally grown, may contain other material. That's just to cover me in case there's some veg in there. not the kale kind of veg. You know the kind of veg.
No, right.
Yeah. And so we have those available. They retail for like $12. So they're kind of fun.
Super cute, was that?
They are. It's just kind of a funny thing, you know. I was eating a salad from Wendy's and I got the idea.
That's so funny.
I'm all about the food. So this is a little spinning kit that I put together, and it's some of my hand-dyed and carded fluff. And I did this for Lambtown, so I don't know if you can see it. Where's the camera on this? This iPad is brand new to me. It's a wonder.
You've got it. So just hold it up a little bit higher.
There.
There you go.
Can you see the lamb on it though?
No, we can't see the lamb. It's just a little too blown out.
Yeah, there's a little sheep and hearts. There's sheep and hearts going all around. So I did that for Lambtown. And then, and that's $15. That's, you know, not a big deal. Some little mini bats. I had a lot more bats, but one of our guild members who was on one of she was on the shoot to crochet team. She loves spinning from bats. And she swung by and she's like, I need that one. Or she was like, buying me out of my bats. So I've got to card up some more bats. But as soon as I have them done, I'll post the pictures on my Facebook page, Spinglitz, and on my website, Spinglitz.com. And the glitz idea came from, I like sparkle. So the first career was TV news anchor. The second career was ballroom dance instructor, and I still do that. And I gravitated towards ballroom dance just because I love the music, but I also love the opportunity to wear a feather boa and some Swarovski crystals. And I found that I couldn't find dance shoes that were comfortable. So I ended up finding a factory that made the one pair of shoes that was comfortable, but they were 12 years old and shredding, falling apart. And I walked into the leather supplier that was downstairs in LA. And I said, do you know who makes these shoes? And they said, I think it's the people upstairs on the 4th floor. And I went up there and my shoe line was born at that moment. And so my shoes were Glitz by Lizette, and they were a line of ballroom dance shoes. The factory eventually was closed because the owner sort of aged out. She was in her 70s and wanted to retire. And rather than going overseas for a product, I just decided, you know, I'm done with that. I took all the shoes out of my inventory that were my size and filled my closet with them. Yeah. And Don, my favorite dance partner, my husband, Don, he and I teach together a lot. but we've been teaching ballroom dance for 34 years. So, and we got into that after seeing our own wedding video. So yeah, we were not naturally gifted, having never had a lesson. And that was quite evident on that video. So we quickly took lessons, burned that video, and that was the history of that. So from newscaster to ballroom dance instructor to now fiber fanatic, some people say artist. I really enjoy making these, like I said, the art yarns. I have a basket of them. This was the Dia de los Muertos. I think I had this in my booth last year. I love adding in all kinds of crazy stuff. These are little skull erasers from the Dollar Tree.
Oh my gosh.
I look at people's junk in a whole new way. It's like, how can I put that in the yarn? Yeah. And so when I got the packages of these home, I said to my husband, do we have a Dremel tool with a really tiny bit? And he said, what for? And I said, a lobotomy. And he said, what have I done now? And I'm like, no, it's not for you. It's not for you. I'm going to make this crazy yarn. And I entered it in the state fair a couple years ago, and it won a ribbon.
That's amazing. So Lizette, just before you go on, do you sell spindles? I mean, I see spindles back there, so I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I just have to ask.
Yes, I make these. I make these spindles. I paint them.
Yes.
And I sell them.
Awesome.
And they're priced affordably for like the beginner spinner who's just starting out. The other thing that I have, how much time do I have, Brooke?
You have 3 more minutes.
Okay, the other thing that I manufacture that I'm really proud of is this washing bag, this fiber washing bag. And I bought one of these from the lady who originally made them, and I fell in love with it and told all my friends who were buying fleece, you have got to buy one of these bags. They're amazing. Well, then circumstances changed in her life and she needed to close the business. And I called her and said, you cannot close your business. I love this bag. I tell everybody about it. And she said to me, well, do you sew? And I'm like, well, yeah, I once had a sewing business. And she said, well, why don't you just take over my business? So she gave me her business, and I manufacture this bag. And I think it's one of the best things. There's a mill in Oregon that loves this bag so much that she sells them at shows also. I send her a bunch of them and she sells them. And she tells people, if you use Lizette's fabulous fiber washing bag to wash your fleece, when you send your fleece to me for processing, the weight will be a lot lower and it won't cost you as much. So it comes with instructions and on how to use it and also how to wash wool.
Perfect. And I just want to say, you are getting so many kudos in the chat, just in terms of, how creative you are, that you're freaking awesome. You're so creative, love your creative, and just love hearing about your progression of your career.
Will I be able to read those later?
Right, exactly. Like when you're having a bad day. Right, exactly. Susan would like to hang out with you, so you may have a new best friend. So congratulations on the 4th place shawl. Love the saturation of colors. It's like a starting palette for painting with fiber, and just so you're getting a lot of love in the chat. I just wanted to pass that along. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And yes, absolutely. And so Kathy says that Lizette used to knit with the Davis Knitters many years ago. When I was first learning to knit, she was always very encouraging, and seeing her here today makes me miss being around her enthusiasm on a regular basis. So that's Kathy.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So Lizette, thank you. I know, exactly. And for those of you who don't know, Lizette, was a longtime Lambtown board member. So we owe her a lot of thanks for the continued longevity and success of this event. So
I wrote that mission statement, Brooke, and I love how you just tweaked it a little bit.
I can't take any credit for that.
The ruminants.
So that was not
the
me.
noble ruminants was the addition I noticed.
I know that was pretty good. I think that might have been Roy's wording, but yes.
I'll share the byline with Roy.
Right, exactly. So Lizette, just to review, where can people find you if they want to buy your wonderful goods? I'm
in El Dorado Hills. I will ship to you, and I charge exactly what it costs. I don't add any handling on there, much to my detriment, because I did that on the last sale and I realized, man, that's a lot of work packing these bags. I should have put a little bit on for my effort. driving it to the post office, trying to find the cheapest shipping. So I have a black belt in bargaining. So if there's a cheap way to get you something, I'm going to find it so that you don't have to pay too much, because, you know, you need more money for fiber and yarn.
That's right. That's right. And they can find you. So you obviously you have your website, Spinglitz.com, and you said you were on Facebook as well.
I am.
Okay.
Spinglitz on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, but I don't think I've posted anything.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's, you know, there's always the future for that one.
It's hard to find time.
Yes. Tell me about it. Trust me.
But thank you for making this virtual, because I actually had to get in here and sort through stuff.
Yeah. Right. You probably are not alone in that.
I found a Namaste bag. In the bag, I purchased it from Nitique, and it had disintegrated. It had been in there so long, still with the price tag on it.
Oh dear!
I know.
Yes.
I'm like, what's this? When it's falling apart.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I called Jimmy Beans. I'm like, is there another one of these that I can, you know, I need to replace this? And they're like, no, we'll just give you a $30 credit. I'm like, you don't need to do that. And they're like, no, we insist. Like,
that was very kind
of them. That's an amazing company. So everybody shop at Jimmy Beans too. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, it's relatively local to us, you know, up in Reno.
1 year at Lambtown.
Yeah, exactly. So
their booth was behind me.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
We weren't standing in line for a churro or something.
Maybe that
like,
too.
How did I miss the churros? I was hearing Roy talk about the churros, and I'm like, how
was that? It was right outside of our. Yeah, right. It was right. It was right outside of our vendor building too. So you really must have just had the blinders on or something, or the blinders.
Really?
Yeah. We'll get them back for next year because they were so awesome, clearly. And we'll tell them that they need to.
You know, my thighs could use a churro.
You know what? Lambtown, there's no calories on Lambtown weekend, so don't worry about it. Just absolve you of that today also. Apparently today is my day for absolving you of all guilt, Lizette. So
thank you. I feel so
I know
much
you're
better.
welcome. On that note, Lizette, I'm going to say goodbye to you. I thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And thank you again for everything that you've done for Lambtown, both currently and in the past. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brooke. This was a real joy, and it sort of took me back to my old TV days. I had to get the makeup on. And everybody, please stay safe. We want to see you at Lambtown next year, okay?
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. See you soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed, right?
They're both crossed. Legs are crossed.
Yes, everything.
Wait,
Thank you,
that's
Lizette.
a dance move, I think.
Yeah, I think it is too. Yeah.